give you a little history about the dog park. It started by a group of people just using Ohlone Park back in the 70s, late 70s, when Bart had filled in the hole. And there were uses for the other parts of the park, but there was no designated use for this park. So the dog owners took it over, and as time went by, they organized into a loosely knit group, and then they formed an association, and one of the members was a humane commissioner. And the humane commissioner took it up to the humane commission, and that we wanted it as a dog park, fenced in and all that. And the humane commission took it to council, and in 1983 it was made an experimental dog park. And no, we didn't experiment on the dogs, it was just to see if it worked, and it worked beautifully. Then in 1985 it became a real dog park, no more experiments. And the Ohlone Dog Park Association at that time became more tightly knit and became a non-profit organization, so we could bargain better with the city and other groups. And what we do is maintain the park with the help of the city and the gardeners. And if you see all these piles of chips around, they're so that it won't be a mud mire in the wintertime. And any minute we're going to get really organized and get rakes and wheelbarrows and level it all out. And we have about, between 150 and 200 dogs a day pass through here, and they all have a wonderful time. People are very good. Some of them aren't very good about picking up after their dogs because they'll think the parks department does it or somebody else does it. And we, as politely as possible, tell them, no, it's their responsibility and it has to be done. What we do is hand them an extra plastic bag and say, here, I don't think you saw what your dog just did. And they're usually pretty good about picking up. If not, we sort of ridicule them, make fun of them, and they leave. We have very little trouble with fighting among the dogs, sometimes among the people. But the members, mostly know how to separate fights, and we're more than willing to help new people teach them how to have their dog behave properly. All the dogs are supposed to be under voice control, and most of them are. Well, at least half of them. What other rules? We have no skateboards or bicycles in here because, of course, dogs love skateboards and bicycles. And so we keep it just as safe as possible. This is Joey, by the way. And Martha Scott Benedict, that's right, I forgot to say about Martha Scott. Now, Martha Scott was the humane commissioner that got the park on the council agenda. And it was practically her last act on earth, and she died, within a few weeks of the dog park becoming a real dog park. And we named the park after her and have a sign that we had carved in memory of her. And nobody calls it the Martha Scott Dog Park, but that's what it really is. What else did? And the dog owners kind of took it over. And in 1983, they decided they wanted to be legitimate, so they went to the city, the parks department, and it was made an experimental dog park in 1983. And it worked out very well. And then in 1985, it was made a permanent dog park. And it's no longer experimental. Everything's working fine. I don't know what else to say about the dog park, except it's the best free entertainment in Berkeley. This is true. How many people do you think come here? Let's see. We have about 20 dogs at any one time, and I would gather about between 150 and 200 dogs per day, weather permitting. Let's see, all dogs must be licensed. Dogs under 4 months shouldn't come because of diseases they could catch. Everybody has to pick up after their dog. Can't have it being messy. And food sort of, picnicking in the park is frowned upon. We don't keep the dogs away from picnics. We try to keep the picnics away from the dogs. And let's see, what else do you have to do? Your dog should be under voice control. Maybe 10-20% are. The rest do the best they can, but there's not a lot of trouble. We have the occasional fight where everybody that comes is told how to break up a fight. So we have few serious problems. So people should not bring dishes. All aggressive dogs, we ask them to leave immediately, and if they don't, then we call animal control, and they help us out, and if animal control is closed, because most people with vicious dogs know the hours of animal control, we call on the police, and they come and help us out. So this is one of the few free run. It's the only place in Berkeley where your dog can be off-leash in a safe area. I can't think of anything else.